Hey there. Today I'm going to talk about something that might seem like bonkers to you, and it's this. If you had a horse who kind of dropped their back, that they couldn't round their back very easily, or they were resistant to doing it, what if I told you that one of the worst things you could do is to try to get them to round their back? And there's various ways people do that, but instead to encourage them to do the opposite. Well, hear me out. There's a lot more to this than you think. And in case we're meeting for the first time, my name is Mary Debono, and this is the Easier Movement, Happier Horses podcast. Yeah. So this is something that I've come across, I don't know, thousands of times in my 30 plus years of doing this work professionally with horses and humans, is that there is a lot of people want their horses to be rounder, to carry themselves in a healthier way. And that's great, okay? We probably all want that. But there's different ways of going about it. And you'll see many people, they'll try to immediately, through various means, whether through riding, training, gadgets, force, try to get their horse in quote unquote a frame. Now, many of us know that that is wrong, wrong, wrong. But then there's other ways that people do it that you might think, well, that doesn't seem wrong. They might do different maneuvers, using pressure under their belly or in the girth area and along the belly to get the horse to round the back. And I'm not saying that's always wrong, but let's think of it this way. Imagine you knew a person who had a really sore back and they just had this habit, which many of us do, of overarching their back, right? At least one part of their back. And often it's the lumbar spine. A lot of people you'll see have that, concave look to themselves, right? And so, and they have trouble with abdominal control and different things like that. So now if you went up to that person and just like poked your finger in their stomach, right? And that person kind of, rounded their back to as a response, it's like a reflex, right? They tighten their abdominals, they pull in. Okay, they would have rounded their back temporarily. But what would they have learned in the process? Number one, their nervous system probably wouldn't have liked it because it's, first of all, there might be a degree of violence or intrusion involved, but even leaving that aside, right? If that's not what the nervous system is prepared to do, it is almost like a shock to the nervous system. And what if there was some discomfort in the actual spine, that the movement of flexing, right, may have been done in a way that wasn't integrated, that wasn't coordinated, that didn't have the support from other parts of the body. So, yes, you got the horse or the person in this case to round their back, but at what cost? And you could, have them do it over and over and things like that. But if you're not improving the quality of the movement and the experience for the horse or the human, right, you're not really helping them in a significant way, in my opinion. So I'll give you an example. So another example. So, okay, we'll go back to a horse. So say a horse, you're looking at the horse, you see their posture isn't ideal. Maybe they're a little more on the forehand, the back is a bit dropped, and that's how they move, whether free or under saddle. And what I do and what I teach my people to do, my students to do in the Move with Your Horse program is we actually support that horse's habit. So let's think about this a moment. And there's very, very gentle ways we do this with our hands. We actually, in this example, would bring the horse's sternum and ribs a little bit more forward, which is supporting that extension, that arching. Okay. What happens when you do that? Well, what happens is that horse's nervous system gets a feeling of, relief, because now someone is doing the work for him. It gets a feeling of, oh, this is familiar, this is safe, right? There's a sense of ease in the movement. Okay, I know how to do this. I'm really good at this, right? So the brain is like, okay, you've got like buy-in from the nervous system now. The nervous system is in a state where it can listen, it can learn because you haven't contradicted it. We always have to remember that the nervous system had a good reason to start that habit in the first place. There was some, it was trying to find a solution to something. Now, maybe it is obsolete, it's maladaptive now, but the nervous system did it as a solution to a problem, or what it thought would be a solution to a problem. Okay. Maybe the horse started doing it because years ago the saddle was painful, or the rider was unbalanced, or the horse had dental issues or hoof issues, or whatever that was causing the horse to try to relieve discomfort. Okay. Now, so that's the first step. The first step is you support and provide that sense of ease with the experience. And this is so crucial. This is crucial for our own movement reeducation too, because you want to be able to use that sense of ease to then bring other options to the horse or to the human. But what's important is you start with that sense of ease. Okay. So then we go a little bit further, of course. Okay. After that, we don't just leave the horse with more and more extension. We want to start to introduce new options for the horse. Okay. But the first step is so crucial. And so next week, next episode, I will dive into what we do to start to gradually introduce these new options. Okay. But the first step is you meet the horse where they are, or the human, and you actually provide a sense of support. And that allows the horse to feel safe. And we want to provide the environment of safety so the horse can listen. Their nervous system is free to hear us, because we're communicating through movement and contact with our hands. We're communicating with the horse's nervous system. So we want the horse's nervous system to be able to hear us. And it does that when it feels safe. So by supporting what the horse already does, you start to create that environment of safety for the horse. Now, I want to be clear here. This is not about getting the horse to be more inverted. I had a woman wrote to me years ago. She was starting to do that. She would use her hands. She was riding with a bridle with a harsh bit, and she was trying to get. I was like, no, that's not what we're talking about here. This is a way to use our hands to support the horse's sense of effort. So we can create, by us doing it for them, we can create a sense of ease for the horse and remind the horse that there's other ways to be in the world, that they can feel differently. They can feel, again, a sense of comfort and ease in their movement and their overall well-being. And this is why this work has benefits, not only just in physical performance, but mental well-being, the emotional state of the horse, because you start to help the horse feel, I can respond differently in life. I don't have to be stuck in my old habits. But the first step in kind of unsticking from an old habit is, let's see where we're at right now, and how can I relieve you of some of that strain and make things feel easier so you can have a different experience in life. Okay. So I hope this kind of just lays the groundwork for why we're, in this work. We are looking for the direction of ease for the horse. And then we create these conditions that stimulate learning, that stimulate connection between you and your horse, clearer communication. And then from there, we can help the horse gradually, easily find new options. So stay tuned, because next episode we'll go into how you introduce these gradual options and why the direction might surprise you. Okay, thank you so much for listening, reviewing, and subscribing to the podcast. I appreciate you so much, and I love sharing this with you. Look forward to talking to you real soon. Bye for now.